And we're live! Yes! Next attempt for MakerCast will be this weekend, or Sunday night, my Monday morning. So 1 week later than last time. Hopefully YouTube will be up. How's everyone doing? Hello everybody! Let's do a roll call. I don't know, when did I start this tradition of doing a roll call? I'm early every week. A little bit later than last week. But anyway, I'm just going to scroll back. Oh, no I'm not. Yes I am. So, Azzy, hello. Michael. Hello Jay. CG Aces. Crazy Whoops, hello. And HMX, cheers. Hey Julian, or is it Juju for Julian? Hey Pierre. I'm scrolling quick. Hopefully I don't miss anyone. Hello John McRae. Yeah, see? I'm gonna call Julian Juju eyeballs. Scrolling still, sorry. I'm having a hard time scrolling and watching looking this morning. Hey Charles. Hey Yuri. Teletronics, hello. Unreal Video Duke is in the house. Wow, just bump. Scrolling still. Hey Leo. Hey James. Hi Death Shaker. Jerry's here. Paul Taggart the Count is here. Andy Mouse, hello. Hey Dean and Andy and Marco, Dave Darko. And that's it. Is that the whole list? If I missed anyone, I'm sorry. Hello to you all. Hey Graham. Welcome everybody. Welcome. My floor's starting to fill up with lots of stock. Did anyone see that? Ugh. And the stacks more in the house. I've got the P&P working better. Sort of. Yes. So I got my software upgrade. So between the software upgrade, there's actually been 3 software upgrades. 3 software upgrades since all this drama started. There was quite a few people on the desktop P&P mailing list, plus myself speaking to Charmhigh directly, speaking to Kimmy, and okay, I've got some news there on that front. Pretty cool. Did you clean your laser cut window? No, I wasn't even planning on recording any of that footage, to be honest with you. It was a last minute thought, and so I just pulled out my camera to record it, and yeah, it was dirty. It gets dirty really quickly. Anyway, so I've got news on the laser front, some quite interesting news. But hang on, what have I missed? Someone said the MakerCast couldn't go through. Oh, sad. Sad the Maker. Yeah, I know. I was up at 4:45 for that MakerCast. And I was up at 4:30 yesterday, and I was up at 4:45 today. So I've had really early mornings this week. Knackered. Completely knackered. What are we at? 906. Yes. James keeps pinging in with the total, which is really cool. Yes, we finally cracked the 900 mark. Very exciting. Hey, Crazy Boy 2006 cashier. I'm good. Hello, Stephen Ludgate. So what was I saying? Okay, Charmhigh. I've got news about Charmhigh. So Charmhigh, obviously they've got proprietary software, and with a license key for their machine, and they've never been quite... They've always been really helpful with, customer service in terms of selling you machines. And they're pretty proactive on YouTube and stuff, showing you how to do stuff. But their software's closed, right? And the OpenPNP people have been trying to get OpenPNP working on it for a long time. And they got stuck on that they can't decode the rotation on the nozzles. They just can't work it out. They've been, scanning all the USB and serial data for well over a year, right? And they just couldn't nail it, couldn't work it out. So they had decided that they were abandoning OpenPNP on these machines. And what they were looking at instead was a controller replacement. So they're going to either you can flash the SmoothieWare software on this controller, but that means you completely lose the ability to run the Charm High software, or you can swap the board out with a Smoothie board. It has to be a big board though. It needs 5 motor drivers. So anyway, that was, we got that like a week ago. It finally came down that OpenPNP pretty much was dead on it, on the machine directly. And then, because of all the back and forwards that I was having with Charm High and some other people were having with Charm High stepped up and actually said a few things. Firstly, they gave us a patch of the software that fixed the issue where it wouldn't save the threshold settings for OpenCV, which was what was killing most of us, right? Because the default setting they had wasn't good enough for a lot of the stuff we were doing. So I needed to dramatically alter my threshold to be able to pick up my parts better. And there's an ability to do that, but it didn't save that value when you left the screen. So they fixed that for us straight away, which was fantastic. So all of us who had problems with that no longer have problems with that. So between my camera focus and the ability to change the threshold, I can now get my machine vision working. Well, it's probably 300% better than what it was. It's still not perfect, but it's probably 85%, where it was sitting at about 15% and useless. So none of that maths works, right? Whatever. So that was the first thing. The next thing they did was gave us another patch afterwards where they took a lot of the community language file and gave us a much better English version of the software because they just had their own Chinglish translations, right? Hey Scott, how you doing? Good morning. So that happened. But then what happened was, and this is crazy, they two things. They've stepped up and said they are going to give the OpenPNP people whatever help they need to get OpenPNP running on the machine, software-wise, right? And then it was 712%. Yeah, okay. I told you that none of the maths works. Okay, I'm not doing maths this early in the morning. Hadn't really thought any of that maths through. Sorry. Chinglish is okay, except when you really can't understand what the button means, right? For something as complex as a pick and place machine, you want good definitions of what all your buttons are. I need to turn my volume off. So they've stepped up and they've said, where are you having trouble? We will help you. We'll give you any specs that you need, any information you need to get OpenPNP working on these machines. They finally see that there is value in having OpenPNP working. They'll absolutely sell more machines if people can run OpenPNP, especially if they're used to OpenPNP. The other thing they've stepped forward and said is, give us a list of all the issues you've got with the software and with the machine, and we will work with you on updated software to improve all of these features. How cool is that? This is from a Chinese company. That is nuts. And this has all happened in the last week. And I'd like to think I had something to do with it because I've been dealing directly with Kimmy at Charm High about my issues, and I've been quite active on the desktop pick and place machine about the issues I've been having and posting and asking questions and everything. And when I started, I was complaining about some of the features, right? And when I started complaining about some of the features, it stirred up a bit of a hornet's nest that kind of was already there, but had already plateaued, and people were resigned to the fact that this is what it's going to be. But I think just a bunch of people just got frustrated again and started hammering Charm High, as I did. And so like my machine already now is way better than what it was, and I'm building TinyPICO. I still have to hand fix every TinyPICO board, but the amount of work I need to do is now down to maybe 15% of what it was before, and I feel like I can continue tuning it to make it even better. So that's great. That's really, really good, and it's been good timing. And I got all my parts for the outstanding parts I needed to continue TinyPICO stuff. I got them Monday was my Wednesday now. Yeah, so Monday evening, but I haven't loaded them up yet because I took the opportunity, because I was out of some parts, to swap those parts out with some other parts to knock out the rest of my shields I needed on the pick and place, or half my shields. So I've been doing hybrids. I've been building whatever I could on the pick and place, and then I'll take it off and put the rest of the parts by hand. And it's dramatically sped up my production time, especially for my play shields, which take a long time to do. Wow, how cool is that? Okay, who have I missed? Hey, Helmet. Good morning. I said hi, Scott. Okay, Chinese company, paint me impressed. Yeah, they're actually. How crazy is that? A Chinese company who are actually. No, there's a few Chinese companies and a few people in China that really are into the open source stuff. I mean, look at Seed. Um, but yeah, this was. It came to everyone's surprise that they set forward and said, "Yep, tell us what you want fixed and improved." I've already sent through a couple of ideas of things I'd like improved, and there's one pretty nasty feature in there right now that makes working with this adventure here. Well, that's really bright. You all know what that is. Let's see if I can get it closer. Yeah, all this makes this useless. Well, not yeah. It's useless for what I need. And boy, was that fun! I'll tell you a story about that. It's a really good story. I'm an influencer. I don't think no, it wasn't just me. I think it just freshened things up. There was a lot of things happened at the same time. Um, so as I said, I'm not the cause of it, but I'd like to say I'm part of what happened. Well, I am because I was hammering it from my side as well. Don't forget the cup holder. White cup holder. Yeah, there's a few companies. They seem to be the exception. Of course, they're the exception. It's a very foreign. Open source is a very foreign um, thing in thought process inside China. That's all. Okay, I'm going to get this name totally wrong. Etupeka Kuha. I'm not. I apologize. Whatever. Haven't been around a long time. Which software do you use for your laser cutter? I'm still using Auto Laser, that came with my laser cutter because Lightburn still isn't compatible with it, and it's not going to happen anytime soon. Unfortunately, he's too busy. The business has grown. He's got so many people, customers to support, and he's just really struggling. Um, so it looks like a controller swap out is the only way. Cup holder on the pick and place. A cup holder? What? Okay, I'm not the cause of it. The hell you ain't. I'm part of it. I'm not the cause of it. I probably caused a lot of issues. Yes. They can drop software development. No, they'll continue writing their own software. Their software's actually not too bad. It's actually pretty good. I have to say now that there's a couple of settings that I can tweak. Is your pick and place open? Hey, Rolls. No, well, it's a Charm High, so it's not an open hardware pick and place. No, it's a Chinese pre-made bought from there. Hello, Creed Solutions. Hello, the only alien, and Adam Bryant, and James Sharman. Sorry, I'm just looking back. You didn't start the fire, but you helped fan it to blaze. Yes, that's the thing. I didn't start the fire. I helped blaze it. I don't like the word influencer because that I don't know. I feel like I don't want to call myself an influencer because I feel like that's got an air of arrogance to it. I think I don't know. If working on 603 manual parts, correction will be needed as well. No, it's really only no 0603 is fine. It's really only the 0402 level stuff which is you know what? It's the same on every single pick and place you can buy under 50 plus $1,000, right? They all have a problem with that level with that size part. That's just what it is, you know. Since you're a well-known YouTuber with electronics and they know this, they can make you happy with PNP and make it easier for other people. I don't think I'm that well-known a YouTuber to have any influence from that level, to be honest with you. I don't know. I just honestly, I spend time nurturing relationships. You know, I didn't jump on them screaming, complaining. I was asking, you know, Kimmy. I was asking questions. I was asking for help. And I don't know. I think it just comes down to how you deal with people. You know, I get angry just like other people do, and I snap and lose my shit just like everyone does, right? Through frustration and everything else. But I think it's just how you pronounce my name correctly. How else do you pronounce it? I think it's about how you treat people and how you ask for help. I think, and I'm good and bad at that. Like when I need to really concentrate when I'm to do that because it's really easy just to flip your lid sometimes, especially when you're under pressure and things aren't going well. I got it wrong the first time, probably because I'm a little dyslexic, or because, yeah, so I apologise. Hey Josh, if the company are going to send out bug test PNP sample machines, I'll take one. I don't think they are. They don't send out free machines to anyone, trust me. Doesn't matter how big your YouTube channel is. They don't need to. They sell hundreds of these things a week, I think. I mean, they really, yeah. You know, sometimes I think I'm dyslexic, but what it really is I'm just super quick, and I don't spend enough time to look and read. Like, often you'll see me reading and I'll mispronounce something I've read or misunderstand something I've read because I'm trying to do it quickly, right? So I scan it and I miss maybe an important word or I read it backwards. Dyslexic, it's hard to spell. Very funny. I need to go turn the sound off on my computer. Hang on. Oh, no, it's gone. The screen's gone black. So it's been an interesting week. So let me tell you a story about this, and then we're going to go on to this. I want to tell you a story about this, because these two are related, and it was pretty funny, right? It was so sad. It was funny. Hey, Michael. Green flashing LED in front of window. Green flashing. That's not green. You're talking about that? That's white. It's just for the monitor. Because the machine's on. The monitor's in sleep. I think you're talking about that one. And there's a little red dot. Oh, just there. That's the Terminator. That's my mouse. That's a mouse. Hey Christian. Glad to be now. I'm in HD on a 49-incher. Hope you're talking about a TV. When I try hard, I'm still a lot of dyslexic jokes going on. Oh, Josh, you just missed that talk. The pick and place is going well. So let's talk about ad hoc stuff. Sorry, it's just too bright. It's not going to... So I mounted a whole bunch of parts on here. What I did is I mounted parts for my Reflow Master. I have a dilemma with my Reflow Master right now. My dilemma is I'm busy doing TinyPICO, and Mick Make's video came out the other week, and I've got like 17 people on my wait list for Reflow Masters, and I have none built. I have none in stock, and I had boards here, but I'd already sent off to get new red boards. Now, I'm going to swap screens. Maybe it'll be easier to see here. Okay, so I'd sent off to get new red boards, and the only difference in my red board and my green board are I put a spot for a cap. Let's get closer. And let's see if we can focus. Okay, so that's the cap for the issue we're having with the VCC and ground on the TFT. Why didn't you use screws like these to hold your plate? Wonky donkey tools. The screws on my plate work perfectly fine, just so everyone knows. That was not the issue. Because okay, why didn't I use these? Because an obvious reason, I can't countersink stuff in acrylic. Okay, it's acrylic. I can't countersink it. So with a laser cut acrylic, you've got a hole or you don't have a hole. You know, I tried doing a fake one. So countersink doesn't work for me. A few people mentioned countersink. I tried doing a fake one here where I cut a hole for the screw and then I etched in like that. But that added an extra 25 minutes for that hole to cut. No, 15 minutes, right? And and what it leaves me is some very thin acrylic that's going to crack if I tighten it too much. So yeah, like, I can't do countersinking on laser cut. If I 3D printed it, sure. What is this board for? I think I missed something. Andy, click the bell. Yes. What percentage of the parts in the Reflow Master are you able to pick and place? Okay, everyone, slow down. I'm getting there. Countersink it with a countersink drill bit. Right, but I've only got 3mm. So I could, yes. I don't have a countersink drill bit that is the right size, so I'd have to go to the hardware store to get one of those, but sure. I've only got 3mm. It's not enough. Okay, I can't get that in focus. It's not enough to countersink inside 3mm acrylic. right? It's just not a, sorry folks, it's not, I still couldn't get the head low enough. But the head is not the problem, okay? The head is not the problem. Well, let me just focus that again. Okay. Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on from the countersunk screws. The screws aren't the problem. So, this board is my new Reflow Master. Oh, hang on. Just going to take a little edge rail off. Okay, so as I said, it's exactly the same as my green board, except I made 2 changes. Get a soft rubber O-ring to take the slack in the hole. Okay, we're all still talking about screws. Let's move on from the screws. Okay, I was just using what I had here. I didn't have time to get to the hardware store. Right, I wasn't racing out to the hardware store to buy new bolts or new drills or anything else. I had stuff here. Except it's red, it's got the spot for the cap, but what I also added was another spot for a flyback diode. Now, as most of you will know, there are 2 types of piezo buzzers. There are active and passive. Does everyone know that? Well, neither me nor Sion noticed that one. What didn't we notice? Counter skin. Is that a type of a tattoo? Oh, hey Rob! I'm going to counter skin it. John said yes. I think he's saying yes to the fact that there are 2 types. So, when you look at all the specs of, all the diagrams on circuit stuff online, they all reference active buzzers, right? Where the electronics is inside the buzzer, you just pass it a voltage and it does everything it needs inside the buzzer and you can't change its tone. But I'm not using those, I'm using passive buzzers. And with a passive buzzer, you pass it a varying voltage, like a PWM, and it will change the tone. But sonic and ultrasonic, is that what they're called, the differences? Active and passive? So one has electronics inside and one doesn't. One relies on what you send it to change its tone, and the other one does everything it needs inside the buzzer. And they look identical, right? You have to be very careful when you're buying them. So, yes, that's correct, James. So I'm using passive buzzers so I can change the tone. Like to dislike ratio needs work. Really? I got lots of dislikes? That's okay. That's what you get when you're popular, Dave. It's all about the dislikes now. Interesting, I've never heard of them as sonic or ultrasonic. Thank you very much, Julian. Juju eyeballs. So, what I thought was maybe some of this problem I was having was because I didn't have any flyback on there. I don't know. So, I put pads for both. And on this particular boards, I built 4 of these boards already. On my pick and place, kind of. We'll get to that story. I've put both, and I want to try this out today. So this has got a bootloader on it, so I can solder up the rest of this board and at least be able to plug it in and try it with the buzzer and see what happens. So I want to do that today, and then I need to build some more boards. I'm going to hand assemble some boards today because I'm feeling tortured and I want to do this on a stream. But also because I just, I'm like seriously, I don't know how many of the 18 people on the wait list will actually buy a Reflow Master. Knowing my luck, it'll be 4, but that's okay. But right now I've got none in stock and I need to build some. And I tried doing it on my pick and place machine and well. So let's talk about that story because that was hilarious. Are your buzzers magnetic or piezo? They're piezo. They're just a standard. And I'll show you why. Gonna need a screen. Actually, I've got a screen up here. Anyway, so I just use these, right? They're standard passive buzzer, and because they're attached to the side of the case, right? They're not on the board directly, because if they're on the board inside the case, they're not as loud. Although now that they're running on 5 volts, they're really loud. But still, I don't want them inside the case, so it's external. So I run them just with wires like this. I know you can get magnetic ones like this, but I've got hundreds of these, so I just use these. You prefer black and white. I don't like the colour. You don't like the red? So I've always done green. I'll tell you why. The reason I did red was just so it kind of, oh, that's my busted screen. So let's get a new screen. Just so it kind of goes with the screen. I don't know. I've always done green with them, but I thought maybe red and red might look nice. A nice change. I didn't want to do white. Red and red. That's all. That's the only reason I chose red. I'm sorry if it offends anyone. The header was a complementary colour. I've seen a couple of them recently. Blue boards with yellow headers. Sure, I've already got headers in black, like stacks of them. So, like, I'm not going to run out and buy more just for the colour coding. But red and black goes well together. My dislike issues on my channel from gear-based hammering seems to go away as soon as I hide the stats from public view. Yeah, like passive buzzers, you get much more flexibility. Sorry, I'm just reading back. I missed, obviously, a bunch of stuff. Can't wait to get my Reflow Master because I'm too lazy to build my own. That's okay. It's not a lazy thing, necessarily. It's just, it's not an easy thing to solve, to be honest with you. Especially from the software side. I mean, building the hardware isn't, I guess, overly complicated, although there's still, interesting problems to solve there. But it's all about the, it looks really orange on my screen. Yeah, it's just the lighting here. They're actually red. They're not orange. I think it's the yellow light from here, maybe. My overhead lamp, so that's redder. My overhead lamp's got yellow LEDs in it. My magnifying glass one, so it kind of yellows everything. Sorry about that. Hey Roger! Red is a colour for warm, so it goes well with the hot toaster oven. That is also true. I say make them candy apple grey. Looks like a Ferrari. Doesn't go as fast as a Ferrari. Do those that are RG colourblind see difference between the board colours? Red's not my colour, but it looks okay on a PCB. Yeah, I'm not a red fan personally. Like, I don't wear any red clothing. Oh, I've got one red, like a hoodie, but I think red looks terrible on me. I don't know. It makes time go faster. Same profile. So, anyway. Let's talk about this. This is funny. It is funny, really. You'll have a laugh. So, I tried to build... I didn't want to put shield parts on here. I thought if I'm going to try it, I thought I'd try it with my Reflow Master. So I put... I had more parts than this, but I got angry. I ripped them off. But I basically had not all my parts, because obviously a lot of them. It goes with my eyes. I don't even know what the colour of my eyes are right now. So what I did was I stuck the MMBT2222222222A, the transistors here. I stuck the AP2112K LDOs here, and I stuck up passive, and then I think I had passive and passive, right? So I had a whole bunch of passives and these, and the rest I was going to do by hand. I wasn't doing the IC, the SAMD on the machine, or the thermocouple. I just wanted to do it, and there was also already, like, the button was already in the machine, and that was it, because the machine's loaded up with all 0402 and a couple of 0603, and this is all 0805. Is your down camera white balance is off? That red is so orange. No, it's as I mentioned, it's my magnifying glass. This hang on, you're not gonna be able to. This thing here, right? It's got yellowy LEDs in it. They're not white. They're like warmy yellow white. So it discolors things, right? If I turn it off, I'll do it again. Then, although it's dark, you can see that the red is red now. So it's not my camera white balance. It's just the light. Sorry. So I put them all in, and I had two issues. One of them I'm sure is my fault. I don't know how to I don't know how to solve it. I'm sure there's an easy way to solve it, but it's the thing that threw my hands in the air and I went nuts. Brian's doing bedtime. Hopefully he'll be along later. Oh yeah, poor Brian. He's Kelly's not a sleeper, and his other daughter won't ever go to bed any time. Yeah, 0805's huge. Like, I'm going to build these live just with my glasses. I mean, yeah, they look small right now because I'm so far away. Wait, let me get this story out. Check out DIY Perk video on lighting. No, I'm happy with my lighting. Yeah, I'm happy. For a live stream, it's fine. Okay, so I gotta get the story out. So I loaded it all up, stuck it on the machine, programmed in all the ad hoc feeders lines, which took ages because you got to program it. As I said the other day, you got to tell it where the start is, you got to tell it where the end is, and how many parts there are, right? And you do that by actually moving the head to the two different spots. So you move the head, line it up, program the position, the end position. The head starts at the home every time, so you got to move it really slowly all the way over. Like it took me about an hour, over an hour. It took me to program these lines in, right? Got it on the machine. Everything was great. Pulled the tape off. Everything was there. Started running it, and I had two problems, right? So, it's a doozy. I'll tell you the end before I tell you what the problems were. So I spent over 2.5 hours trying to build 4 of these boards, right? Just the parts that were on here. So how many parts? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 parts, right? 8 parts and multiple on some of the boards all over the place. 2.5 hours, and I got through 2.5 panels, and I threw my hands in the air, took it off, and finished the whole board by hand, right? So, okay, we're still talking about white balance. That's cool. So here were the problems, right? It was 3.5 hours if I include the setup of this. 3.5 hours of the most frustrating, excruciating thing I've ever gone through. It's a point where I was laughing at the end because it was just so bad. It was that funny. So it wasn't parts bounce specifically, but it was this. So the way the machine works is every time you can stop the run at any time you want to, or pause it, stop it, step through. You can tell it step by step or do a complete run and then go back to stepping. So if you want to tweak something, so if a part goes down on the board and I look at it and go, okay, I could reposition that slightly, I can stop it. I can go and reposition where that part placement is going to be, go back and then continue the run where I was, right? It's a great feature of the machine, right? And it saved me a lot with all my building stuff, right? It means that you can tweak, you don't have to finish a whole panel before you can tweak the placement. You can tweak it as you're going. But every time you do that, what was happening was, so you tell it where to start, and it goes and counts, and so it knows the next one it's up to, right? So it's taken 5 from here, it knows to go to number 6. But what was happening was, every time I was stopping it, tweaking something, and going back to tell it to start again, I'm just going to zoom in a bit, right? What it would do was, on some of the random parts, focus, it would go back to the start again. But there's no parts there. So the way the machine works is it tries to pick it up, if you're using machine vision, it tries to pick up a part, goes to the head. Now, it's got 2 ways of checking if it's got a part. It uses suction. It can tell if there's something on the end, if the part's big enough, right? It's got to be big enough to really block the suction, and you can hear the change when the part's there. And so it can detect if it's picked it up or not. But for very small parts, like passives, even at 0805, with a really small nozzle, it can't really tell if there's a part there or not. So it uses machine vision, if you're using machine vision. So it grabs a part, whether it's got it or not, goes to the machine vision and sees if it can detect the part. If it can't find the part, it says, okay, I didn't get one, so it goes to the next spot. Now, on this board, it does that twice, and if it can't get a part, it stops and throws an error, right? And you go in, you got to clear the errors before you continue. Every time I clear the error and continue, that part would continue. So let's say if I was up to part 8, it'd go back to the start, it would go 2 error, 2 error, 2 error, till it finally got to 8. So I'm constantly doing this to let it keep going. But the fact that it stops, goes to the errors, and then comes back to continue that line, another line will get reset back to 0. So every time that happens on one, it was wrecking another one. Now, I'm sure there's a way to change that. I'm sure it's a setting I've got wrong or something. I don't know. I couldn't find anything at the time. I was frustrated. I just wanted to get the boards built. It was really late, right? I didn't finish assembling these final boards till about midnight, and I had to be up like really early the next morning. I had to be up at 4:45. So I just wanted to get it finished, right? So that was the first problem. But the worst problem was I was using two heads, right? Because some of the parts were bigger, so I needed a small head and a slightly bigger head. When the heads are not sucking, they're blowing. And they're only blowing a little bit, but they're blowing. Because what it does is it blows the part down before it picks it up. I would have thrown the machine off this table. Yeah. It was infuriating. So what would happen was, there's two heads next to each other, right? Pretend my fingers are pointing down. There are two heads. And so if this head's going to pick up, it goes there, right? But if this head's going to pick up, the other head's, this one, is here. And what it does is it blows a bit of air down, and because there's no tape here, these small tiny parts fly out of the hole. So all of a sudden, as it's picking up parts here, these parts here are either flying off, or they're just flipping out of the parts. So I'm sitting there with my tweezers. Where's some tweezers? Really? Here we go. So what was happening is, every time it's picking up, I'm sitting there trying to flip the part back in time for it to hit the next one. Otherwise, it was going to stop. And if it stopped because it couldn't pick it up, it was going to reset 0 on some of the lines. And so you know what it's like to try to get these little caps back in? Oh my God, it killed me. Like, it kicked my ass. It's almost a French farce. I don't know what a French farce is, but I would have used other F words ending in ridiculous. I hadn't thrown anything across the room, but I was so frustrated. It was a really bad thing. So what a lot of people do is they leave... Oh, I just stabbed myself with these tweezers again. Oh my God, these tweezers are so sharp, and I just stabbed myself. I'm going to bleed. Yep, bleeding. Okay, I can't be trusted with sharp things. Hey Brian. Playing the magnetic fish game with tweezers and parts. And some of the parts are really just hard to get back in, like the caps. Anyway. So what some people do is they leave the cover tape on and they peel it as it's going. But I couldn't. Like, it was just too hard to do that. So this whole process, there are plenty of people that use this for bigger stuff. Like, it's designed for ICs, right? For IC trays and stuff. Much bigger parts that don't blow away. But for small passives, they do. So I've been speaking to Charm High about it. I've asked them for the ability to, if I only use one head, to not have it blow on the other one. And it might happen. With every story like this, building pick and place doesn't look as bad. No, a custom pick and place would have exactly the same problem. Because it's not the hardware, it's the software, right? If you have a dual head system on any pick and place machine, that they all blow, right? Like OpenPNP does the same thing. Like, I don't believe you can turn the blower off. Like, it's the same. I believe it's the same problem. But I don't know if OpenPNP can do ad hoc like this. Well, I'm sure it can, but not as easily as this machine does. So what I'm going to do is just use it. When I try it again, I'm going to use a single head, and I'm going to stick... Right, I'm not going to do blue tack. If I take the nozzle out, apparently with no nozzle there, no air should come through. I'm going to try that, or alternatively, I'm just going to put some blue tape or something. Not blue tack. I don't want to get anything stuck in the nozzle. So just some blue painter's tape over it to stop the blowing, and I'll try it again when I have the patience. But I have to solve the 0 point stuff. So that's what happened. It was an absolute nightmare. I actually got it placing quite well. So I got some of the parts. I got about half the parts on every board placing through here, which would have been great, except it took me, yeah, as I said, 2.5 hours. I mean, I could have hand-built a board. I could have hand-built all 4 boards in an hour. So it definitely wasn't... it was an experience, let me tell you. One, I'm not looking at repeating right now. So what I've been doing with my shields, instead of using that custom board, I've just been building whatever I can with my shield on the machine, and then hand doing the rest. So I might have done... In the last 2 days, on a pick and place, I might have done that. Right. right, let's get away. Can everyone see that? These are play shields. So I spent all day yesterday. I did all of these and a couple more panels yesterday. So let me put these back. Right, this is just, box does not want to play with itself. Everything is a learning experience. And you know what? Learning experiences are fun unless you're on a deadline. And then they can be brutal. So on my play shields, I was able to... Oh, I'm not doing my tweezers. Those tweezers, I've stabbed myself again. So I was able to place the buttons. So there's 5 buttons. All the 10K resistors. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 8 resistors. I think there was, I managed to place like 39 parts. All the 0.1 microfarad caps I was able to place, and then everything else I did by hand. So it was pretty cool. Yes, there's a lot of boards there. I've sold a few. I have to build a lot. So it actually worked out really well. So I was only really hand placing, you know, LED, the light sensor, a couple of resistors, a couple of caps, the LIS, the amp, and the speaker, and the switch. So yes, it was really good. It really saved me a stack of time. So I'm very happy with the progress I'm making with the PNP. Okay, I think that's enough PNP talk for today. There's a lot of hand soldering I need to do there. A lot of hand soldering. Well, the PNP, with the feeders, it works all the time. Like, it's really great now. I've got a workflow where it works pretty reliably. And, you know, because they're all 0603, the amount of tweaking I need to do afterwards, you know, occasionally something's slightly off to me, but I'm able to use machine vision on pretty much everything now. There's still a few parts I can't do machine vision on that just won't pick them up properly. One of the features we've asked for, and they may come through with this, although I'm sure it'd be a pretty big thing to do, is a per part threshold for the machine vision. Right now it's one threshold that runs for everything. A silicon needle cover for the end of it. Yeah, I mean, I cover it with something. I don't obviously use blue tack. But whatever it is, it's got to be sticky enough that the blower doesn't push air out. Well, I'm going to try just using one head first. Morning, Alan. Yawn. Service down earlier. My server was chewing up 100% of the CPU whenever it was doing. So if the service... Oh, I wasn't even looking. I haven't used your service for a while, Brian. Not for at least a week or so. Only when I got a TinyPICO plugged in. I could never have done all that by hand. I could have done it all by hand. I have been doing them all by hand. It just would have taken a stack more time. Yeah. I've learnt a lot of lessons through this, and so I'm thinking, I'm just letting everyone know now quickly. I was going to have a chat with Brian about this first. Why Brian? Well, I don't know. Maybe Brian will find out now live with everyone else. I'm going to put him on the spot. So I think what I'm going to do after the campaign is finished, after I've shipped everything, is, I know we chat about stuff and you ask questions anyway, but I'm going to do a live AMA, I think, about the whole experience, the whole, you know, from, maybe not from start, like last year when I first started with Rev 1, but I'm going to take a week off. I might take some time off, but I want to do an AMA, where, yeah, we can just really chat about specific to the campaign. And, you know, I've learned a lot of lessons of, I've got some ideas of how I really need to change some of the way I do production in the office here. It's definitely been, yeah, as we've mentioned, a massive learning experience, and I thought maybe doing a live AMA would be a better way of doing it than me just doing a pre-recorded video. So I'm thinking maybe I'll get Brian to host it. Again, like he did with my 1K subs AMA. Hey Brian, putting you on the spot. How's that? Hey Brian, would you like to host my live AMA? Now we'll really get to see if Brian's listening or not. I'll think about it. What's an AMA? AMA means ask me anything. So it'll be like a live chat like this with me talking, you asking questions, and me answering, right? Exactly like I do now anyway, but it'll be... but I'll mix in with that a whole bunch of, you know, my thoughts on lessons learned and whatever, and things I do differently and or ever again or not. Thanks, Brian. Of course he will. Well, as long as we can find a time that suits both of us. Obviously, you've got a few time restraints. Okay, so I watched the Rev 1 videos today. When did you take out the eyebrow? Take out? What? It's there. Just the lighting. Can't pick it up. Hey, Gary. You watched the Rev 1 video. Why would you watch the Rev 1 video? Just one or two, yes. Okay, so I need to test this board first. I've only put a bootloader on it. I need to actually do some soldering. Yay for soldering. There you go, Julian. I've done so much hand soldering the last few days. I am not happy. Had it away. Thought the P&P had it away. Had the what away? Had the eyebrow ring? What? Red looks nice. Apparently you're the only one that thinks red looks nice. I like the red. I did it to match the screens. So I need some parts. My floor, half my floor is covered with product and things. Okay, come on. Need to start off with some of these. Love the smell of rosin in the morning. I bought myself some multi-core. It's coming today, but leaded multi-core, not lead-free. I might get myself some lead-free multi-core, but next purchase, a wave solderer. Let me tell you, I've thought about it, but a wave solderer is not... Yeah. I don't know how I'd implement a wave solderer in my setup, to be honest with you, but I would absolutely... So you got to understand how... I really need to do some soldering today, right? I really need to get some boards made today, but... So this is my to clean box. So this is where I start piling stuff up. So I've got some RTCs. These are all to go in the ultrasonic cleaner, right? I've got some TinyPICOs with RAM. All different things. So I have been hand soldering. So I break them apart so they go in the ultrasonic cleaner properly. So a panel of these is 15 boards, right? So if you imagine 5 rows. There you go, there's a double row. So 5 rows, that's a panel. So I've had to hand solder. I've got 12 panels to do. So 12 times 15 times 3 Grove connectors times 4 pins per Grove connector. Can someone do the maths? Paul, you there? 12 times 15 times 3 times 4. Just heard to clean boards. No, clean. Okay, someone else can do the maths. So I'm hand soldering a lot. And that doesn't include all those play shields I showed you. All of those has to go 144 times 15. Right. That's how many times I'm soldering. Okay, that's my to clean box. Yeah. So would you find that relaxing, Julian? 2,160 solder joints? I don't find that relaxing. Yeah, Dave, when's your Space Invaders video happening? Going in my little standoffs. I've still not made myself... Oh, come on, focus. I've still not made myself a jig to hold this. I know, terrible. You should line that clean box with anti-static. Why? It's cardboard. What static do I need to worry about? And what's more is they're going to go through an ultrasonic cleaner. LED matrix had 2,000 solder joints. Wow. Okay, yeah, it's crazy though. Julian likes all that soldering. I don't. I gotta tell you, it's not my favorite thing to do. Okay, sorry, let me just focus on this just for a second. Gotta get these the right way. So yeah, I still don't have a jig to do this. And now would be a really good time because I need to build like 20 of them, but not gonna happen today. Element 14 is not open source. What? Why are we talking about Element 14? You find it relaxing to watch me do it? No, you would not have found it relaxing to watch me do it yesterday, let me tell you. I really don't. So I got 100, I've got 80. I've got 80 more play shields I need to do, and each play shield I have to hand solder the JST connector, then 3 headers, then clean them, and then the screen. So that's, yeah, I got a lot of soldering to do. But all the surface mount is done, which is really good. I would have 200 power blockers, would have had 2000 as well. Yeah, but I'm like, I need to get those done. I need to finish the rest. I've done 4 panels. I'm going to say 12. I've done 4 panels. I've got 8 panels of those Grove connectors to go, and they need to be done by tomorrow, right? And all those play shields need to be done by Friday. And I've still got TinyPICOs to build, a lot of them. So yeah. Come on. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to getting my multi-core. Oh wow, that's pretty straight. Straight enough, I think. Maybe not. Missed. Okay. By the way, folks, I got myself a new tool. But where is Ben? Where is Ben? Oh, Ben, I'm going to tell you a story about Ben. Cardboard can develop static charge, humidity changes and such. It may occasionally introduce static discharge. Interesting. I didn't know that about cardboard. It generally just stays on that desk over there. I don't normally carry it around like I just did. And then it goes and gets stuff clean. I couldn't face doing about 130 joints on some boards I used to make and sell, so I stopped making them. Yeah, it's frustrating, especially, as I said, under the deadlines. I remember that with the charge. Yeah, deadlines are just, they're a killer. Like that makes me, like, every day I wake up and I've got like 50 things to do in the day, and I know I'm only going to get 3 or 4 done, and it's just picking the right things to do at any particular time. Okay, I just want to get all these on. Although I didn't need them all on, I just needed the switch, but that's okay. It's going to work, right? It's going to work first time. Oh yeah, I was telling you, sorry. I got myself a new tool. Wow. But I need to, I'll show it to you, kind of. Now I can show it to you. Oh, except it's plugged in. One sec. It can't live on my bench. It can't live on my bench. I've got no room. I got myself a desoldering station. Yay! How many times have people on this chat said to me, get yourself a desoldering station? No, it's not a sledgehammer. Hey, Colin. So I got myself a laser gun. And I managed to block it up completely my first time I used it, because I didn't know how to use it properly. Hey, Gyrotech, I assembled some of the board with my pick and place. Some of the board with the pick and place because I can't unload any of my feeders right now and put other parts in because I need them all for TinyPICO. So I did whatever I could. Do I regret not buying the bigger machine with the double row of feeders? Absolutely. Now that I've got the machine working really well, I'm really annoyed that I don't have the extra feeder space. It would make my life much easier. but still, it's a massive improvement. Benfire glassing JLC send out is nicer than the pens. Yeah, I got one yesterday. In my last order with these red boards. You do a soldering cart on wheels. What's the new tool? That's what I just showed you. Oh, sorry, did you not? Yeah. Then touch the anti-static a few seconds before placing and removing boards. Yeah, they're clogging it up. Yeah, well, it's. But I really clogged it up. I've actually got a. Do I have that photo still? I took a photo of what I had to do to fix it. It was not a usual clog up where you could take the chamber off and stick an iron in the end to get it out. No, I had to. Here we go. I'm gonna put my Wi-Fi on. I'll share this picture and I'll show you this picture. Some people have already seen this, but I'll show it to you. Open. This is how much stuff was in it, and this is what I had to do to fix it. Why is that open? Oh, why is that open? There we go. Sorry. I had to use a manual drill and slowly, really slowly drill the hole out in here. In there. It was full on. Look at all the stuff I had to get out. I really clogged it. It was, yeah, I made a real mess of it. But I fixed it. It just took a while. It took me about 20 minutes to just really slowly, because you didn't have to be careful. You don't shave the inside of the tube. How much do you think it will cost to clone your pick and place? You couldn't clone it. It's all been machined. Don't know, thousands. It will cost you more to make. It will cost you more to clone it than it would be to buy it. I wouldn't want to clone it. So, is that a real question? Hey Ed. Hello. Sorry I didn't say hi before. Yes, all my boards come from JLC PCB. Yes. Hi, and Nudi. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but hello. Didn't come with cleaning rods. It did come with cleaning rods, but I couldn't get them through. I'm pretty sure that the clog would have been at least 5-6 mil deep. Could not get it through the cleaning rods. I had to, you can see how much stuff I pulled out. There were stacks. It was I really killed it. Anyway, let's go back to here. But anyway, it's fixed now, it's working, and I'm really glad I got it. And so where can you buy one? Where can you buy one what, please? Sorry. Okay, I'm going to straighten these. I feel like I should straighten some of them. I feel like it would be the right thing to do. If anyone gets buffering, just restart. Just refresh your browser. It's just a YouTube thing because of the low latency. Okay, straight-ish. Yes, a jig would fix this, but who's got time? I don't know. I don't have time. Okay. A few more small badges coming that might be perfect for you to get back on the horse, Rob. What horse is Rob on? Oh, why haven't you picked up a soldering iron, Rob? What have you been doing? Okay, one more. Okay. Turn the cleaning with... What? Did you try to turn the... I went all the way to 500. with the rod. It did not work. Trust me, I wouldn't have done it otherwise. I wouldn't have drilled it otherwise. I spent about an hour and a half. I was actually going to take it back to the store. Like, I thought there was something wrong with it. But I did a lot of Googling, and someone recommended doing the drill thing, and about 20 people jumped on him and said, "You're an idiot." This is on the EEV blog forums. EEV, yeah. And but I thought I'd give it a try, and great. It took me, yeah, I did it really slowly, and it fixed it. Wait, what did I miss? Let's get back to here, then poof. Chat amongst yourselves, buffering, system. Who clicked something? Australia fell off the end. Who forgot to pay the electric bill? Oh my god. Are we back? Hello? Please tell me we're back. We're back? That was OBS. OBS just crapped out on me. I didn't even realize. Wow, so that was a long conversation I had that no one was there for. Oh, gosh. OBS, what is going on? So all of a sudden OBS started dropping 100% of my frames. For no reason. I don't know why. So how much did I lose? Stream died. Buffering, damn it, died. Okay, wow, a while. I didn't even realize. I was looking down. I was looking at this and didn't realize that it had gone. Let's go back to here. Right, so what's the last thing everyone heard? Australia fell off the end. I wonder if it's that bypass cap. Hey Dirk, pick and misplace, yeah. Wonder if you could talk about why you didn't ask JLC PCB or PCY to assemble the Pico boards. Okay, so firstly, JLC PCB don't do assembly for anyone outside of China yet. They haven't opened that up, and they only do prototyping. Up to 30 boards is all they do. So that the JLC PCB don't have the service. PCB is super expensive, like really expensive. Their quote was the 5th highest price I got quoted for doing Chinese assembly. So PCB wasn't even in the running. I've discussed it already, but I'll mention it again. Hang on 1 second. You're able to check. Who used IT's PCB servers? So I'm just going through the chat of all the stuff I missed. Hey Ian, hello. Back. Okay. Down to the builders at time. Sorry, I'm still doing the scrolling. Okay, let's get back. Okay, I'm caught up, I think. Sorry about that, folks. So just to answer Ed's question quickly, I can't manufacture my TinyPICOs in China because I don't have the lead time. So everything in China, I know I covered this in my last video, I think, but not everyone maybe would have heard it. So with manufacturing in China, you have to, for my boards specifically, there's a 4 to 5 week lead time. So I would have had to order my boards 4 weeks ago. Hey Hex! I would have had to order my boards 3 weeks ago to be able to get them in time to ship them according to my timeline. How could I order boards 3 weeks ago? I had no idea how many I was going to order. The only way I could have assembled in China was wait till the end of the campaign and then deliver 2 months or 3 months after the campaign finished, which is ridiculous. I didn't want to do that. So Chinese assembly wasn't an option for me, and it's not that much cheaper. So to be clear, the assembly part, the A in PCBA, might only cost $1 US or 80 cents US per board when you're doing 1,000 boards, but they mark up all the parts. Like the parts cost, they give you an itemized breakdown of your cost. The BOM cost for them was 20%, for the cheapest manufacturer I could get, was 20% more expensive than I can buy them for. The PCB, they mark up the cost for. And remember, my PCB is a very, like the spec I'm using, I can't upload my Gerbers to PCBWay. They'll reject them. It's out of their spec. It's out of everyone's spec. They'll still make them if I get a quote directly, but they charge me a premium for them. The PCBs were like 3 times the price for what JLC PCB offered me, right? Even the cheapest price I got from Electro, their PCBs were still 20% more than I can buy them from JLC PCB. Their parts were 10% more than I can buy them for myself. Then I had all the test jig costs and issues, plus I then had shipping from them to me for the boards, which would have been about 80 to 100 Australian dollars. So all of that adds onto the boards, and all of a sudden, what looks like a cheap per board cost from China ends up only being $1 cheaper than I can build them myself, right? And I still had to bring them back to me and... What? We crashed again? Okay, that wasn't OBS. That just could be the internet today, folks. Wow. So anyway, that's why... So China, making them in China isn't an option for me. It never was an option for me. I did all my pricing. I did all my due diligence. But at the end of the day... there was nothing about the campaign that allowed me to do it in China that worked for me. And I still would have had to hand do or still assemble all of the shields myself because they're really small run. Yeah. And then what happens if I do them in China? What happens if I ordered 800 boards from China and then I needed another 500? Like, how do I do those? So, yes. That's why I'm doing them myself. I need buttons and headers. Ed, I hope that answers your question. So is there money in it for you? Are you paying for your work? Will I make money on this campaign? I'll make something at the end. I don't know how much yet. It's probably going to take me a while for the dust to settle for me to really know what I'm going to make, like literally make, you know, and then obviously taxes and stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's too many buttons. So I'm just getting stuff out that I can solder. So I don't know yet. I mean, I've not hit my break-even point yet on the campaign of what I've spent overall. Because now I'm at the point where I need to look at what I've spent. In terms of my time, no, I'll never cover my time. Right? That's, you know, the amount of time I've invested in this thing, but that's okay. When I compare to China, China's got a lot of issues that I don't have if I'm manufacturing here. Yeah, it's really complex. It's... I'm going to do buttons first. Yeah, manufacturing in China is not a super easy thing for the complexity of my campaign. And one of my aims was always to... Why is this going in out of focus? Was always to set up manufacturing here. I always wanted to pick and place. I mean, I've been talking about pick and places for how long? For those of you that have been on this journey with me from, you know, near the start of YouTube, I've always wanted to pick and place. There's too many other things I make, like Reflow Masters and other products and other things I want to do that I could benefit from a pick and place machine. So I feel like, yeah, like, don't take this the wrong way, but I feel like, you know, for short run stuff, manufacturing in China is for people that can't do it themselves, or don't want to, or don't have the need to do it themselves. I have the need to do it myself. I have the need to solve all this myself, because I'm trying to build a hardware business out of this. Now Pi BCB factory. I don't want to buy... No. I'm happy to get my PCBs done elsewhere. They're too complex. I'm not necessarily happy paying for weight on shipment on them because they're heavy. My last few orders from JLC PCB, my shipping alone has been, you know, $100, $150 just for the DHL. But obviously the quantity of boards I've been doing, you know, you divide that across your board cost. So what have I missed? Well, yeah, well, working for nothing is bad. Costing you is even worse. But you know, this is, it wasn't ever. I mean, I didn't ever want to really lose money on it, but the TinyPICO journeys was really one about me learning and pushing myself. That's how it started, anyway, right? I never expected the campaign to go like this. You know, I've been open and honest about that. My expectation on the number of boards I was going to sell was really in the low hundreds. You know, 200, maybe 300 if the campaign went well. So, you know, I've been completely blown away. Sorry, runny nose. You're spending your time on this one, but you can break even on the tools. Right. Well, I mean, look, I'll make money. Forgetting about my time. Let's forget my time. I mean, if this is my job, then whatever time I put into it is what I put into it, right? I'll make something above my tool cost. I'll probably even cover all my costs from the second I started working on TinyPICO. So for my Rev 1, and I'll probably walk away making about $3,000 or $4,000 overall, including paying for my pick and place machine. So, you know, it's really nothing I can support my family on. But if I walk away positive, then I'm happy. And when I say positive, that also leaves me stock here that I can sell more and potentially make more money. There is no... DHL is the cheapest other than mail, but there's no way I'm waiting 3 weeks to get my boards and shipping them by post. To Australia, DHL is way cheaper than FedEx or UPS or anyone else. So yeah, that's why I do DHL. Good design engineer should get over 75 per hour. Oh, absolutely. Like I wouldn't call myself a good design engineer, so I'm not in that class. But sure, I mean, I could definitely be making more money getting a job, but I'm trying to build something here, right? And even if I do end up going and getting a job afterwards, you know, after all this is said and done, I still want to keep making stuff, even if I make stuff in my spare time, right? I still need facilities to do that. And if I'm doing it in my spare time, then automating stuff is even more important, right? Because if I've only got a few hours a day to devote to it in the evening, then getting as much done as I can automated is more important. Be completely blown away. I'm going to blow my nose here funny. I can't say there's enjoyment at the moment. I'm sure at the end of the campaign, Helmet, like I'll look back and go, yeah, that was really cool. And there's a lot about it I'm enjoying, but it's super hard work and stressful, right? Yeah, it's all 0402s. Just wait till my next board when I go 0201. Yeah, all the YouTube ad revenue. Yeah. Oh, someone congratulated me earlier on the chat about reaching 4.2k subs. Thank you, whoever that was that congratulated me. Yeah, I've been slowly creeping along. My growth's, you know, not great. You know, I haven't been really releasing a lot of high-value videos for a while because of all of this. Now, if only I could automate all of this process, right? See, a wave solderer won't help me with any of this. Okay. What did I miss? It was a joke. I know it was a joke. Engineering tech could still get 50 now. Thanks. I'll put myself up at the mediocre. Yes, the 12p has to count for something. What's 12p? Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to go... I don't really think I'm going to go 201. I can't do that on my machine, on the pick and place. So it's probably... Oh my gosh. Look what I did. I must have moved it when I was soldering and didn't notice. Oh, that is... I can't tell you how annoying that is. Can I bend it straight? See, I'm looking up. Okay. Am I going to get the desoldering station out? Can anyone think of an easy way for me to do this other than the hot air gun? To just bend this back straight? That's really annoying. I'd love to do a review on the new Mac Pro when it's out. I'd love to own one, but it's not going to happen anytime soon. Define high value. What are we talking about, high value? Yeah, see, I wasn't watching. I must have knocked it. Well, I need a holder. No, I just need to not look up and down when I'm doing it. Solder sucker. No, this YouTube content is completely inane. It doesn't have any more. Yeah, like I don't understand the whole YouTube thing anymore, to be honest with you. The monitor is insane. Spend a day making a jig. Hey Chris, yeah, I should have. Like, all the jig wouldn't have helped me for this. I've never done that before. That's just me not paying attention. I wonder if I can... I don't really want to desolder every point and put it back on again. I don't understand would make an interesting video for someone with the metalworking gear. Thought about submitting your test jig to Magpie magazine to get more general exposure. I don't know. I just don't have time for that type of stuff at the moment, Rob. Like, there's so many things I could be doing from a marketing point of view. I'm going to try to hot air it first. See if I can just straighten it. Although I have a feeling that it's going to be a bit hard. It's on my wife's kidney for one. Yeah, rip it out. Rip what out? Desolder it. I'm going to have to go and grab the machine and plug it in. Solder wick. Wick all the points off to get it looser and then try to move it. I can do that. I can try that first, maybe. Where's my solder wick? Oh no, where's my cutters? They're inside the house. That sucks. Lever off the plastic bit. I'm not sure what you mean by that. There's some other cutters. Hello? Well, my cutters are inside the house. Oh, came off. Okay. So I got solder wick. Hey Greg. Yeah, it probably would be. You can inch pressure on it and heat each pin. Well, I've got a desoldering station, so I don't know. Like, I don't particularly want to use the solder sucker. Let's get the desoldering station out. Use a lot of flux with the wick. Yeah. I don't know. Let me just... Maybe I'll flux it first. Just yank it off. I don't want to just break it, yank it off. I'd like to have a board at the end that's actually okay quality, you know? Okay. It's going to get some... Do I have any flux in this, left in this pen? Not a lot. I think I might almost be out of flux on that pen. I've got my Amtech flux. It's probably going to be a bad idea. So it's probably going to stick. Just want to get enough off that I can see if I can bend it. Oh, that stinks. Whoa. Okay, yeah, running out of flux now. Bend it back and forwards to break the pins. I'd prefer, I know I could do that. I prefer to not. See if I can salvage it first. It's more flux. Oh, it's hot. If this doesn't give me any movement, I'll get the desoldering gun out. Sorry, I can't read while this is happening, folks. I apologise. Okay, so did I get enough? Not really. I want to see if I can... Oh, maybe I did. Okay. Okay, I got enough movement out of it. So now I have... Is it straight? Okay. We have straightness. Now let's resolder it, shall we? I've got a solder sucker, but I've also got my desoldering gun, which I just showed before. Yep, good. That wicking sucks compared to sucking. Yeah, I know, but I just wanted to remove enough that I could straighten it. Which I did. So unfortunately I don't have enough room on my workbench to keep my desoldering station. I lose a lot of space because of the way I set my camera rig up and my microscope and everything else. So, perfect. Okay. Hello Gmod and Trains and Sirens and Computer Parts YouTube channel. That's a long name. Did I miss anything? Sorry, if I missed anything, at me. Yeah, I put flux on the wick and I put flux on here. But because it's pretty narrow braid, it yeah, the flux disappears really quickly. I mean, you can see how much I got off. I got a fair whack off. Oh, stinks. Okay, so we're going to need... So I've got a screen. I need a standoff. Small super dot of glue to hold the part in place before I solder. I've never done that before, and I've built quite a few of these. It was, I moved it while I was looking at the chat and didn't look back. And yeah, it was very silly of me. I know. It's honestly the first time I've ever done that. I've got proper flux. I have proper flux. Original. From the Rossmann group. But it's just, oh my gosh, it goes everywhere. It's really messy to work with. Okay, so I'm just putting my little standoff on. Okay. So that's how it all comes together. Oh, that's the wrong size standoff That's annoying. We're getting there. We're getting there. Yeah, I don't like messy boards. I definitely can't use that flux on my black boards. It is near impossible to clean off. Okay. I forgot that on these boards I moved the pin over more. So the standoff used to sit against... oh, it's right. No, it still does. Okay, so that's the standoff there. Sits against the SD card. Okay, so now we need to plug it in, and I need to flash it. So there's no code on here yet, other than I think just Blinky. Oh no, we need to wire up some things. We need a switch. Wow, doing well. Oh, come on. I don't know why I use black and red wires on my switches, because there's no positive or negative on them. They're just a switch that sits in between the power. It's kind of funny. Okay, so we have a switch. I need to put the buzzer in. Don't really need the thermocouple. Does that have net mega? No, this is a SAMD 21. SAMD is an ARM. Blue is positive. Boop, boop, boop. Now, one of the things I've been doing, obviously, is a lot of reflowing, right? I can't tell you how much reflowing I've been doing. Well, I can. A shit ton. And so I've been tweaking and refining and adding features to my Reflow Master code, which I want to, at the end of the campaign, wrap it all up and get it out there for people that are using Reflow Masters. A lot of it's just to do with the fan control. So if you're not using external fan, it might not matter. But there's some other nice things I've done in there as well, in the code. Okay. So we plug it in. And we switch it on. And of course it won't do anything right now, because there's no code on there. Let's flash it, shall we? So, Arduino. I'm going to switch screens. Okay, so Reflow Master. This has already got a bump anyway. There's a few things I've added in this, but not all of my changes yet. The last changes I made on the 20th of the 5th, so quite a while since my last changes. You can now do reflows up to 8 minutes. I've added the ability that you can have the fan stay on after reflow, even when you go back to the menu for a certain period of time, up to 60 seconds, just to keep cooling it down, and added an extra profile for the medium temp paste that I use sometimes. Okay, so tools. Let's select the board. Fruit M0. Can't see the chat right now. 1 second. I've got stuff in the way of the chat. Okay. And that one go. Cool. Yeah, I think AVR needs to die. I think, to be honest with you, I think its days are gone. I think ARM all the way. I want you to dispatch all the boards. Please do a stats video on how much you made, how much it cost. Boards. I'm not going to have that detailed breakdown, Ed. Like it's too. I haven't kept figures to that level. It's been impossible. So I'm not going to be able to give you an exact cost, or an exact how much I made. But I'll be able to give broad values. But as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to do an AMA. So I'm not going to do a video about it. I'll do a live AMA where people can ask questions after the campaign is done. Okay, so let's flash this. Everyone, I'm just going to mute for 1 second and I will be back. Don't go anywhere. Sorry, folks. No, that wasn't a toilet break. That was a what was going to explode in the house. Okay, so it's up. It's working. Let me go back to here. Have the libraries change release of the Reflow Master code? No libraries have changed. Just my code. And yeah, and I'm not ready to release it yet, but it's Yep. I'm sorry if you can hear screaming in the background. So let's see if the sound works. Yay! So that's working, which is great. So I've got fan countdown now. I've got a few issues visually which I need to fix still, but you can set how long to keep the fan on after reflow's finished. So up to 60 seconds. Yeah, okay, so it's working. Great. So I don't know if the cap or the flyback or both are needed. I could take one off and try it and see, but I'm just going to leave them both on. The sound does sound a bit clearer. 200 degrees. What? Oh, right, yeah, so there's obviously no thermocouple plugged in right now. I mean, I can easily do that. K-type. Can I fix the bad kidney? Capacitors can fix anything. I mean, I know the cap fixes it, but or the cap, all that does is obviously suppresses the noise. I think what it was happening was it wasn't so much the noise; it was the noise was bouncing the power to the 0 volts state. I think. Normally, I wouldn't be plugging this in while it was all wired together like this, but whatever, just for now. Caps can fix almost everything. Not world peace though. Okay, so now it'll pick up hopefully the K-type, and there'll be a proper temperature on there. There we go. 22 degrees apparently, always 22 degrees. And if where's the end of it? So let's see how cold my hands are. Apparently my fingers aren't. Okay, warmer. 23, 25. So my palms are a bit warmer than my fingers. If I grab the iron, not going to touch it, but if I put it close, it's been in sleep, so it's just heating up now. There we go. How close can I get it without touching? Cool. So it works. My new boards work. 7:57. How long's it been? An hour and a half. Wow. You have to take your temp the correct way. Yeah, I'm not going to stick one of those in my ear to check my temperature. So, did I miss anything? No. Okay. So we have one in stock. Yay. So am I going to, am I going to assemble a panel? As soon as the stream's finished, I really need to get back to, obviously, should I assemble a panel or should I I don't want to hand solder more stuff right now. What would you like to do? I'll let the community vote. I can start assembling one of these, but it means I'm going to have to obviously finish it. Just the surface mount stuff, so that's going to take probably, I don't know how long it's going to take, especially if I'm chatting. Or I can hand solder some Grove connectors, which will be very fluxy because I'm not going to be able to use my extraction fan on the camera. He wasn't thinking ear. Oh, was he thinking rear? But you don't like SMD assembly, Julian. I don't believe Rob Tillard's Max library is available in the library manager any longer. Oh, really? I didn't know that. Interesting. Start building the hand soldering parts automation. I'm not building an automation system for the hand soldering parts. What are you talking about, for this? Or for my other hand soldering stuff? Really, Rob? What's the next project? Hey, Bit Bastille. Don't viewers always like to see streamers suffer? Oh, I think people come here to watch me suffer for sure. There's a non-compatible one. Well, I've already had people who have had problems with the people who've been building their own. I've had recently a few people who have made their own PCBs and they've been sourcing parts and assembling themselves, asking for a lot of help with trying to get their thermocouples working. So that could be why. I'll have to find out what went on there. I might have to roll his code into Reflow Master and not have it as a separate library. That'll be a pain. Yes, that will be a pain. Bye, Hamid. Have a good time at work. So we're doing surface mount? Is that what we're going to do? I don't mind. I'm happy to do another panel of boards. That'll give me 8, because I've already done 4. I've only got 7 screens, but I've got a whole bunch more screens on the way, so... Wow, that's a resounding 0 from the audience, except for Julian. Well, it looks like I'm going to hand assemble some boards. Although I don't have any of the parts out. That'll do the panel. Okay, we'll do the panel. Just someone else. No, not their own variant. They've just actually been... They literally got these boards made, or the previous revision made. And they're... So they're making an identical one of these, but doing it themselves. Yeah, I'm doing the orange ones. They're red. Don't be smart, Julian. Have you ever seen another revision of these screens for the Reflow Master? Hope you are not receiving yet another. No, well, I'm hoping that exactly the same screens are the ones I just got, because I ordered from the same person. Okay. Anyway, so, I mean, they're two different boards. I could have kept building these ones, but I had these ones on the way. These ones required the hack of the cap between the two pins, where this one solves that. That was the only difference between the two. As I said, if you look here, if I put them the right way, that's got the extra spot for the cap and the flyback diode, where this doesn't have either of those. That was the only change between these two boards, and the color. I love the version control on the paste stencil. Yeah, not even close. Pretty funny, huh? Okay. Look at that. Lines up beautifully. Let's get some paste. So I have a new squeegee that I'm using for my paste. I could board the headers for the SMD21 board and Max Breakout, but I don't know about new designs. I think HMX is being a bit cheeky there. That was Colin that did that. Yeah, well, it's not the camera, guys, it's the lighting. Get affected by board color, shininess, can't recall. It only uses the camera, the down camera for calibration. So no, it doesn't get affected at all by color. And the up vision makes everything grey, like grayscales everything first. So I'm using this now for as a squeegee. Instead of I'm not using my cards anymore. Okay, and I've got some interesting stories about this paste, which are orange and brown PCBs. I wouldn't want a brown PCB? I don't know about a brown PCB. So what I've been doing is just loading up the paste. Like this. So this paste, I'm using the thermally stable stuff, right? It's got some interesting characteristics that I really like, that I didn't know about. And I will show you, I'll let you see me do something first, see if everyone freaks out, and then I'll talk about it. Ooh, posh squeezy. Yeah, not really. Like, I've tried all sorts of ones. I got some of these really big ones. So I've got a big and a small of these white ones. I've been trying different things. I also got some of these, some of the metal ones. Metal doesn't work as well as I was hoping it would. It's a little bit too flexible. So for normal paste, the metal will be fine, but for the thermally stable paste, which means it doesn't live in the fridge, right? It lives out of the fridge. So this paste isn't anywhere near as wet as other paste. Yeah, well, I was using these. Like I've been doubling them up. Anyway, so because it's not as wet, it's actually harder to get in. But because it's harder to get in, I'll show you what I can do. Anyone want to tell me what I'm doing wrong right now? It's less prone to slumping, and it's less prone to squeezing through under the stencil. It's like I kept going over that stencil quite a few times, right? Where to start? And what I ended up with is perfect paste. Now, if you did that with paste, that's right, multiple wipes. If you did that with paste from the fridge, what happened when it's obviously warmed up, because you're not supposed to use it when it's cold, when it's warmed up, if I would have done that multiple swipes, what it does is it starts squeezing the paste underneath the stencil, and you start getting, like, especially with the fine pitch stuff, like it turns into just one line of blob, right? But this didn't at all. Like, how close can I get? Look at those QFNs. Perfect. All the fine pitch stuff here, even though I kept going over it multiple times. I'm really liking the characteristics of this paste. It does eventually slump, still, but it's much more forgiving when I'm applying it. I really, really like it. So, I'll clean that later. Now I haven't pulled any of the parts out for the board, so this is going to take me a few minutes. Okay, I need lots of parts. I don't even know what I need. I know I need that. I know I need that. I'm going to have to do it a bit at a time. I need lots of these, and these, and these, and these. 10Ks I need, and 1.2Ks. Yeah, this is going to take me a while to get all the parts out. Actually, what I should do before I do that is get this paste and put it back in the container. Only the stencil clutter with dry paste. What do you mean clutter? Well, I mean, obviously I clean the stencil. I will clean it after. I always clean my stencils thoroughly, so I'm just getting the paste off the squeegee. Or whatever you call it. It's not really a squeegee, is it? What would you call this? Is it just a plaster scraper something or other? Did I just... Oh, look what I just did. Okay. I did it under camera. I thought, let's do it on the camera. And then what did I do? I knocked it off the thing. Okay, that's disappointing, Sion. See, I did that to show everyone. Should have just done it off camera. It's okay, there's only a couple of caps there. They'll be fine. They'll be fine. That'll reflow. Spatula. That's the one. A spatula. It's a spatula. Where's the Lazy Susan? Lazy Susan doesn't have 0805 parts in it. The Lazy Susan is for TinyPICO stuff. And what do I need? Some stuff from here. I need those, and I need those, and I need these. Am I out of crystals? I hope I'm not out of crystals. Okay. Yeah, it's going to be a bit messy. Count spatula. 1. Okay, so where shall we start? What I need to do is, just to refresh myself, I need my schematic open so I can remember everything is. I know there's labels for a lot of stuff. Actually, let's just do the labels. Maybe I should have labeled everything properly. Let's start with a whole bunch of 10K resistors. Need a whole lot of them. Okay, just ran out of that strip. I wish I had music playing right now. It's very quiet in here. So I'm not even checking the orientation. Sorry, Greg. I can build it without any magnification, but I can't do the orientation. Not unless I'm looking right over it. More 10Ks. What paste is it? Oh, sorry, the paste is, it's my quick chip. Whoa, there you go. So it's thermally stable, no refrigeration required. It's just grittier. It's less wet and grittier than normal. And you got to be very careful to keep it covered. Like put the lid back on very quickly, and put paste back from, like if you're going to put it back in the container like I just did, do that straight away. don't zoom in and we'll pretend they're all the same way round. Yeah, it's for Greg's benefit. Sorry, I just, yeah, not possible for me to do. Can you even see that? Yeah, you can't even tell. That's fine. How many more do I need? 3 more. 1, 2, 3. God, this is so big. Okay, that's a lot of 10k resistors. Should we sing a song? Well, I shouldn't have even said anything, right? Now I've got a lot of loose caps in here. You might be able to see. So I'm going to pull them out and try to use them. It's going to take me a while to get them all out though. So that's a 10k there. Not 10k, 10 UF. Put the resistor upside down. Yeah, I don't like that resistor upside down thing. A few people have mentioned that. Not a fan of the upside down resistor. Okay, a few sideways ones. I'm going to put them on sideways to see if I can not have to rotate the board. God, these are so big to hold in tweezers. When you're trying to hold 0603 or 0402 in tweezers, it is crazy hard. Probably should have put some other parts on first. I feel like these are going to get in the way later. Like, I spend more time getting parts out of the container than I do placing them. That's the biggest issue with assembly, which is why I built my Lazy Susan. Is that all on screen? Yeah, these are 10k pull downs for the buttons, which I know I can. The reason I've got them still on this board is because the code. I can't split the code base. I don't want to split the code base. But in my Reflow Master 2, which I not Reflow Master 2, Reflow Master Pro, which I've been working on behind the scenes, I already have removed the pull downs, and I'm going to do it in code, because that's a brand new fresh code base. So I've got lots of parts that are loose, so I'm just pulling these out right now. These are my transistors, because I had a lot of loose parts from my pick and place the other day with that whole shenanigans that I spoke about earlier. So I'm trying to grab the loose ones first. God, these transistors, what a silly design. Hating to type without feedback. Flipping these transistors over is a pain in the backside. Come on. So unlike with 0603 or definitely 0402, I can be a bit more liberal in placement, because the surface tension will push everything back in. fingers time. Got a lot of parts to place, folks. Sorry. Wow. Realism music of friends. Really? I love music. I would spend all my days listening to music. Well, I do actually, but love music and lots of different types of music. So many transistors. Okay, I need one more. That's annoying. Okay. So can I at least tell everyone a story? Does anyone want to hear a story? I don't know what though. Someone tell me what they'd like to hear. Wow, that's actually probably a dangerous thing to ask, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 nanofarad caps. Yes, story time. Yeah, but what though? I don't know what story I'd share, so you need to give me suggestions. These are 10 nanofarad caps for noise suppression on the K-type. What was the first concert you went to? Oh, my first concert. Don't make it a bedtime one. When did you finally want to give up game coding? Okay, I'll start with the first concert. The first concert I went to. Wow, I don't know. That's a really long time ago. I've got to remember how old I am. For those that don't know, I'm quite old. I don't recall, but probably maybe Billy Joel. I think it was the first concert I went to, maybe. I think, I don't know. Yeah, maybe Billy Joel. Okay, so why do I want to give up game coding? So your game, it's a really tough industry now. It's not about, I mean, I've discussed this a few times. It's not about making cool games anymore. It's about monetizing people. Like the entertainment part is just become secondary. Like making games just costs a lot of money now. And the chance of reward from it is really slim. So, it's all about monetizing people as quickly as possible. Which, I don't know, it's just not really something I was into anymore. Like, I just felt like, how sad is that? That, hang on, point ones. Just gonna grab a punch of that. So, yeah, and so I guess part of, I mentioned before that I've got ADHD, so, which is just, it's not a new thing, but newly known to me that I've got it. Got diagnosed recently. And I got diagnosed because both my kids have got it. And Yaz has ADHD as well. She got diagnosed recently, before me. It's hereditary, right? It's genetics. So If both our kids have got it, then the chances are one or both of us have got it. Turns out we've both got it. And so because of my ADHD, I tend to hyper-focus on stuff for a while until I get interested in something else, and then I hyper-focus on that. And I did games for a long time, 10 plus 12 years, maybe. I mean, it was a very long time to be in the games industry. I saw a lot happen during that time. But it was enough. I needed to get out. I wasn't enjoying it. Not for a long time. But I didn't realize why I was unhappy. Like, it took me a long time to work out what it was. And then when I finally worked out that I just didn't want to do it anymore, I shut my company, or didn't shut it down. I fired my staff that day, let them go, which was very sad for me. Sad for them too, I guess. And that was it. I started tinkering with hardware. It's energetic, not really genetic. I don't know. What's 25 years? Cough? What? Something that happened with a good friend as a kid. Something that happened with a good friend as a kid. What do you mean, like I don't understand what you mean by that. Like, you wanting a bad story or a good story? I don't know. I mean, I had a pretty happy upbringing. Had some good friends growing up. I still speak to some of them. Some I don't. You know, it happens. You grow apart. I don't really have any friends stories like that, I guess. Do you know the deal? Well, no, there's a few different drivers, but let me tell you, they all the crews that come here, I'm pretty chatty with, including my mailman. I I stand at the front and chat with the mail guy every day. He doesn't leave mail. He rings the buzzer all the time, so we can have a chat. No one's asked me what I do here, but they've all got to be wondering the amount of packages I get. Pretty crazy. I'm a whippersnipper. Not much. Can I make a slight promotion if you like folk old style but very good singing? Two twin brothers in harmony. Then check out the Dutch band called Tangerine. Okay, I'll have a listen to them. What was the first record you bought? Record? My first record I bought. I don't think I bought any records. Obviously, I was around for records. Sure. I think I didn't start buying my own music until I bought a DVD player very early when they came out. Like when they were like $600, $700 for a DVD player. Not DVD, sorry, a CD player. God, a CD player. And I think my first music I bought was on CD of my own music. Like, I bought some tapes, but not records. Used to make my own mixtapes. I had a dual tape recorder, so I could push play on one and record on the other, and I could make my own tapes. That was pretty cool. David Bowie didn't come to Australia very often, unfortunately. App development to hardware, some thoughts, and would you go ACK? Would I go back? Hello, Sefedungeon, however that's pronounced. I don't know. I don't want to do app development. I was never interested in app development. I had stacks of people asking me to write apps for them. I'm just not interested in apps. Apps is even worse than games. No, not a fan of the whole making apps. So, I spend a lot of time coding, doing hardware now, right? So it's my last crystal of this type. I've got some new crystals. Can't buy these ones anymore. Discontinued. But I have these new ones, which are the same brand as the ones I use for my RTC clocks, but a different spec crystal. So I'm still finding myself doing a lot of coding, which I think is quite humorous, because I wanted to get out of coding. Oh, I left off a one. Need another 1 microfarad cap there. So, but yeah, I definitely wouldn't want to go back to making apps for a living or doing any coding for a living, I don't think. I mean, that was always my fallback, I guess, if I couldn't get, you know, if my YouTube channel failed, which is not doing great, and if I couldn't generate enough income on hardware, which is still the case, unfortunately, no matter how well my campaign's going, it's really not, it doesn't solve my hardware problems, right? Then I could always go back to getting a job coding if I needed to, but I really, really don't want to. Really don't want to. Oh yeah, so James is in game dev. He's worked on some very well-known titles. And yes, that's a long time in game dev. I need my 12 picofarad caps. So many different parts. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, lots of... 1, 2... Look at that, stood up by itself. Can everyone see that? 3... 4... I need 8, 5... 6... 7... 8. Okay, 78 RPM on a shellac. I don't know what that is. Hey George, hello, Northern Ireland. What other questions? My postie asks me what I'm making all the time and wants to see things. Oh really? No, I don't think they've might have had the either they're just not interested, or don't have the nerve to ask. I'm not sure. Okay, these are caps for the crystals. Business line applications are awesome to make. Is that sarcasm? The first concert was one of those charity ones with different acts. John English, wow. Waku. I remember John English. I don't know if I ever heard Waku. Were they a, what nationality band were they? Why is something stuck on the bottom of this cap? Sticky. I'm going to chuck that one in the bin. I don't know why that is sticky. That should not be sticky. Just quickly, another interesting problem I'm having with the pick and place machine, and this is not the machine specifically, it happens with all machines. It's something that didn't occur to me till I experienced it and looked up about it, is that the parts, the cover tape on all the different reels, right? Depending on how long the reel, how old it is, and whether it's a paper tape or whether it's like plastic tape and whatever, the reel, the holders, the glue changes, and sometimes the glue comes off, like it goes brittle, and so the cover tape comes off too easy. And sometimes, like especially with paper tape, it gets stuck and you can't get the cover tape off. So quite a common problem with the cover tape removal when it's pulling parts out of a pick and place machine is the tape won't come off properly because of the glue. So quite interesting. Isn't that the wrong part on the top left of the board? Which part are we talking about? Top left. This is top left. Which board? Which one are we talking about? Put more clickbait. I don't want to do more clickbait. No, seriously, if you can get reasonable clear boundaries, they're good. I have limited experience though, because I'm not a coder. I think I'd go a little brain dead if I had to code business apps. Be honest with you, and that's a lot to do with my ADHD, right? Like I with ADHD, you're hyper focused on things that you're really interested in, and you completely ignore things that you're not interested in. And so if I was like, I couldn't do it. I don't think I could do a job working on business systems because I'd be miserable. Like it'd be really bad. I don't think. Yeah. I need more than those. Referring to the old crystal. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, no, that's just... that was the last of the crystals I had. So I've moved to a new one. Julian's got ADHD. It's possible. You'd be surprised how many people do that go undiagnosed. Again, these are all going in a unknown orientation. So these bias resistors here for the transistors, they say 860R, but they're actually 820R. And I don't know why I put 860. I must have got confused. I'm using 1.2Ks for the other transistors on the base. I'm not biasing, just the base ones, sorry. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good, good, good. So I need some 820s, and the only 820s I've got in my little book. What kind of science? So what other questions have we got? Obviously leaving the campaign specific questions to the AMA for later. 1, 2, 3, 4. What other things can I tell you? It's not really story stuff, I guess, is it? It's more like just me answering questions. But that's okay. Now, placing the QFN will be interesting. I might have to switch my glasses for that to my old codger close-up glasses. Okay, I also need some shotkeys. Shotkeys. Would you listen to new ID pitches? Pitches for what? Sure. New ideas for what? I mean, What do you mean? Like, in what capacity are you talking about? As a, like, from a mentoring point of view? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think I need 8 of these. See you, John. Catch you later. Make your ideas. I mean, sure. Like, yeah, feel free to discuss any ideas you've got here. I need to switch my glasses to my... They look almost the same, but they're my old codger ones. So I can't see chat right now. Oh, hang on. In Australia, best place to live. Is Australia the best place to live? That's a really tough question. So I still think it is one of the best places in the world to live. It has some drawbacks. I mean, our politicians are absolute dickheads, excuse my language, but then again, they're no better in any other country, really. I think we're all going through a crisis period in every country. So my head is smacking the microphone. I need to get these the right way around. Very hard to see the lines. And you feel kind of isolated here. We're very far away from everything else. So like in the maker space, for instance, you know, where it's all really happening in the US and Europe, it's it can feel really isolating. But generally our culture is pretty good, and our food and stuff, and our coffee and food is fantastic. And we have the same problems that any country has. A lot of white nationalism happening here at the moment, but that's everywhere. It's definitely safer than most other countries, I think. Oh, I've got some more caps to put on. Okay, switch my glasses. Now I'm going to be blind for a bit. Indigo D1. No dangerous wildlife in New Zealand. Oh, there's that. Yeah, we do have some dangerous wildlife, I guess. Okay, I need some more 1 microfarad caps. I forgot a few. I told you this is going to take a while, but we're getting there, almost there. 1, 2, 3, 4, I think. 4 caps, I think is what I need. Okay, I need some switches. I need to really clean up all these things here. There's a lot of stuff in front of me. Switches and USBs. I'll put the QFNs on last. Too many spiders. We have a few spiders. Yes, we do. But you know what? They're not that bad. Oh, I haven't done any of the LEDs yet. So many parts still to go. So many parts. But at least I'll have 8 boards. Well, I still have to do all the through-hole stuff for each board, except for one of them. But okay, those. I'll put the USBs on after. I'm just going to put these back. I need some LEDs. Red and yellow. No, I do red and green. Red and green. Wow, I'm really struggling for space here. Need to check the left board's part. It's different colour. Yes, it's a different crystal. It was the last of my first batch, and I had to move to a new one because they got discontinued. So they're the ones I've always used in the past. These are new ones that I've never used, but I've used this brand for my RTC clocks. So I'm pretty happy with them. So I'm going to, yes, continue that. Okay, so these are green. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have to switch my glasses again so I can see the markers. Is Vegemite real? Vegemite is real, and I really like Vegemite. I gotta say, I'm a big fan of Vegemite. Got a lot of vitamins in it too, but it's yeah, I'm a fan. I like Vegemite. Don't let anyone tell you that it's disgusting, because it's not. Well, it might be, but it's. I eat Vegemite on a spoon. Sorry, I'm just focusing on these LEDs. Gotta get them the right way around. Okay, and red ones. I'm running low. 1, 2, 3, 4. I wonder how many people we still have here. What's the concurrent count now? Any idea? Whoa, I'm a bit blind. 103 was the peak concurrent. Okay, a bit smaller than last week. Had a massive week last week. That was crazy. Red. It's probably a bad angle because of that cap to be doing this. I might have to rotate the board around in a minute. Red, red. Definitely won't get the 2K one done. Red, red, red. Red, okay. I need to clear my clear some of this desk space. Won't be a moment. Got too many parts everywhere. Okay, they can go. My caps can go. I'll do my caps later. Okay, I need 300R. Can find an open one. Yes, I can. One, two, three, four. 300R for the green. This is an awkward angle for my hand. Silly, silly. Maybe that's better. So I haven't checked, has the crowd supply campaign gone up at all while we've been talking? I think it's all pretty much at saturation point now. I'd be surprised if... Ooh, that's one by itself. Like, I'll be surprised if I get to 1,000 boards, TinyPICOs now. I'll be very happy if I do, but I've only just scraped over 900, so... What? I just lost one. Where'd I flick it to? Oh, that is annoying. Resistors everywhere. Do any more spares? I'm sorry if this is boring for everyone. Let's just get it done. So close. I think other than these resistors and the USB, it's just the SAMDs have to go on. Now you can see why a pick and place machine for this would just be awesome. Obviously some parts I can't do on the pick and place machine. Okay, so USB, oh no, the LDOs. Wow, that would have been bad. Imagine if I didn't put the LDOs on. 1, 2, 3, 4 LDOs. You should give a prize to the 100th buyer. What prize would I give? I'm going to try to put these in sideways. That's going to end badly, but you know, very hard to pick up sideways. Wow, not bad. Considering I can't see what I'm doing. Well, I don't even know who the 100th buyer is. The 1,000th buyer, that's the problem. I don't have that type of data. Like, I can get a list of backers, but I can't get a list of what backers have ordered yet or anything like that. I can get a list of orders, so I know what to build and make, but I don't know, like with an order number, but I don't have a backer that belongs to it. So I've got no idea who that would be. 906. So is that going up? I don't know. Oh, a little bit. Okay, cool. 388 backers. That's very cool. Very cool. So I guess I'm breaking my rule again about a 2-hour only stream. I've got so much work to do today, but I really feel like this needs to be done. Come on. Okay, is that on? Close enough. Okay, did the sums in your head. Well done. Well done, the count. Okay. USB and QFN. Yay. Plus food is a bit questionable. Plus what food? What? Man is a cold island. Man of Isle? What? Hey Zephbot. Okay, let's get the USBs on. Someone say food. Oh yeah, I'm hungry. I'd love some food. You know what I'd love? A coffee. I'm definitely going to have to coffee up today. I'm not running on empty. Like empty's still or something. I'm actually so beyond empty, it's not funny. Okay. Sorry, is that off camera? I apologize. Okay, USB's on. So now the only thing I need to do is, apart from make some space, is get myself some QFNs. QFNs! This is hard to get out. These are in trays. So I can't fit the tray under the camera. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, hey Matt. I was thinking you could do something like the 100th backer, but all backers are important. Absolutely, all backers are important. Maybe the 100th, oh, 100th, 1000th, maybe the 1000th backer or the 1000th board. Maybe the person who orders the 1000th TinyPICO actually gets theirs not lost in the mail. What do you reckon? Okay, swap my glasses one last time. QFN's going on and then we're done. Okay, I'm gonna have to, I don't know if I can do this under the camera. I'll try my best. I might have to fix them after, because I really cannot see properly. That might be okay. Nope. Oh, sorry, that was my head into the microphone. I'm sorry if that made a noise. Okay, I'm gonna have to tweak these. I'm gonna have to look at them directly afterwards. I really can't see what I'm doing. I can see there's a message for me, but I've got the wrong glasses on, so I can't see it. Just 1 second. Okay, let me just have a look. Oh, bummer. Knocked it. Well, not bad, considering the angle I was on. Not the worst placement I've ever done. Okay. I think the boards are done. Okay, what did I miss? How did you meet my wife? Wow. I think that needs a whole live stream. 1000 TinyPICO actually gets a TinyPICO. Yeah, haha. It's funny watching you place those ICs on the cutting surface. Back in the day, CMOS silence would have been zapped by the tiny static discharge. Yeah, not anymore. Hey Looney. Hey Bit Looney. What did you miss? Nothing. Everything. Yeah, the wife conversation's for a whole nother time, Julian. That's quite a long story. At a bar. There you go. That's the short version. Met her for the first time at a bar. I think that's all good. I think we're all on. Shall we reflow it? Let's reflow it. Dun, dun, dun. Inception time. Reflowing Reflow Masters with the Reflow Masters. Okay. In the oven. And start. Yay. Wow. Okay, I can now look at chat again, but let's put some of this stuff away. 1K. Can it reflow itself already? Well, it is reflowing itself, kind of. It is pretty cool that it can do that. 1.2. Nanofarad, 12 picofarad, 0.1 microfarad. So I put them back in order. Gotta go in order. 1 microfarad. 1 microfarad. Ha 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 ha. 10 microfarad. Ha 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 ha. Sorry. Okay, everything's away. Have a good idea once in a while. Can you tell my wife? Chicken and egg time. What came first, the reflow oven or the Reflow Master? The reflow oven came first. Remember, I used to do it by hand, and then let's do this. Yeah, remember I used to look at it by hand and open it, and then that's why I made my Reflow Master. Tidying up on live stream. Yeah, I had to. I got to clear my desk. Otherwise I'd knock everything everywhere. Experimenting with self-hosting. Self-reflowing. How cool would that be? Epotis, hello. If the master is controlling the oven, does that make the new red ones Padawans? Sure, I guess. Reflow from outside. I'll show you mine. I can't. Well, yeah. There's really nothing to see though. Like I've done this before, but it's there's. I don't know if this will reach. There's. No, this cable's caught. 1 second. Sorry if this is a bit. What's the cable caught on? Right. Sorry, you're going to get a deep dive. Hopefully I won't drop it. Had a caught cable. Okay, now. So, I mean, there's really not a lot to see. There's my oven. There's a Reflow Master reflowing. It's pretty boring. I don't know why you'd want to see that through the camera, to be honest. So it's a very unexciting thing. Okay, there you go. Now I don't know where it goes again. Sorry about that roller coaster craziness. Whoop, there we go. The first Reflow Master had to be made without a Reflow Master. Correct, the first one was made just with the oven, me looking at it. And I've got it here. This is the... Is that it? I think that's it. It's not the first one ever made. This is my one. This is the one I was using. Whoops, wrong camera. This is the one I've been using like forever until I just swapped it out. It was a Rev 2. I don't remember what the change was from the Rev 1. But yeah, this was my original Reflow Master that I only swapped out like a month ago. So the whole time I've been using this one. Your desk is so tidy. Well, it is. I'm chopping and changing with a lot of stuff at the moment through production, so I need to keep it fairly tidy. My work, to me, it's all messy, but anyway. Blue PCB. No, this is green. Come on, Julian. Are you colorblind? Do you not see that's green? Anyway, okay. Oven door is open. Everyone hold your breath. Anyway, so we're going to need a heatsink. Yes, we are. I like the buttons on the side. What kind of case do you use? 3D printed? Yeah, I designed my own case, and when people buy the Reflow Master from Tindy, they can choose to ship it with a case or without. And the cases, the files for the case are also available in my the GitHub repository, and so you can print your own if you want to. How many picos are ready? I have no idea. I've lost count. I don't know. But do I have a lot to make? Yes. Beep beep. Done. Okay, just letting it cool down. You might be able to hear the fan going. You might hear when the fan cuts off. Yeah, the buzzer works. You see IC settling when it starts. Oh, I can't see inside my oven easily. A camera won't see inside the oven because there's no light inside there. So, I mean, I used to look obviously with the torch, but yeah, getting to actually see the reflowing happening isn't really possible with my oven because it's got a tinted glass front. It is a scary buzzer. So the reason I've done that, and I've actually, in my version, I've dropped the resistor value that's on the base to let stacks of power through, because quite often I'm over the other end of the room with the pick and place machine going, or I've got some music happening and I really need to hear the oven. Like I can't, yeah, the buzzer's got to be super loud to catch my attention. I think I'm pretty sure I've built like 120 or 130 TinyPICOs so far. Obviously I ran out of parts, I mentioned on my last video, so I had to wait. So I've been building shields. All my shields are made now. I built 150 or more of everything. So now, as of, apart from that hand soldering I need to do, apart from the hand soldering, it's all, on the pick and place machine, it's all TinyPICO now. Okay. That is a reflowed board. I'm just looking at the screen and it doesn't look like any parts have wobbled around, so that's good. Expect like a version 1.3 of Reflow Master should be able to open the oven door. Yeah. Well, technically you can now. You can use the fan control to control a servo to open the oven door, but I don't want to do that. I just want to see how big a volume of 1000 picos are. You're never going to get to see them in one hit like that, because I'll be sending off the first batch to crowd supply before I've even finished building everything. Have I resolved the issues with my pick and place? I have resolved them. My machine vision's pretty good now. So yes, have you seen the boxes behind Sion? Can you, maybe not, no, you can't really see, that's, yeah, anyway, I've packed lots of stuff. So I spend about 3 hours every night packing bags, and labeling and putting cards in and packing bags and stuff, and during the day I'm assembling, and at night I'm packing. Okay, so that's cooled down enough. So how does that look? Those QFNs look good. No bridges on the QFNs. Excellent. That all looks pretty good. Does it work? Well, I don't know. I'm going to have to put bootloaders on these first before I can flash them. So I don't know if they're going to work. I'm going to assume they're going to work. But we'll not be finding out today. Or you won't be finding out today. I might find out a bit later. A couple of these caps shifted a little bit. I might tidy those up quickly. You see these caps? Let me get a bit closer. How close can I get? Just these two caps. Must have not had them on very well. The bottom ones are fine. For a bit looked good. Couldn't check the QFNs. Lucky I can. Okay, I'm just going to fix those caps. And I then think... is Yaz still packing also? No, she's stopped for the moment. She's been busy with other stuff, so I'm doing most of the packing at the weekend. Do you have some time this weekend to play around with the castle game? I'm not going to have... I won't, Hex. I'm really sorry. Not until I ship. So I've set myself a goal for shipping early. I still want to ship early, and I need to meet that goal. So right now, the only thing... I jumped onto this morning. I probably should have not, but I've jumped onto this morning because I wanted to... Didn't want to build TinyPICO stuff on the stream this morning. I needed a break, but I'm all TinyPICO at the moment. I'm very, very sorry. I am super interested. I did get your email, and I just... Right now my focus is... They fixed the settings, BitLooney, and they're working with the OpenPNP people to support OpenPNP. If you watch the start of the stream, I discussed a bunch of that stuff, so... One. Yes, so a lot of progress. Yep. Changhai are going to make the machine work fully with OpenPNP and give the OpenPNP guys whatever info they need to get it working. Okay, I think that's all. Let's put that back on the heatsink. Absolutely, great decision for them to do that, because OpenPNP they'll sell more machines. Like if OpenPNP works really well with it, but they're also fixing their software. So I've had 3 software updates from them in the last week, and they're taking feature requests. They're asking the community what issues they're having and what features they'd like in the software, and they're working on it. So it's great. Yeah, a lot of progress, which is really good. But my machine vision, Julian worked out that my machine vision's working 712% better than it was before. Was that right? 712? I think that was what you came to. Okay, so now I've got 1, plus the one I built, plus... plus these guys. So, I've got 1... Reflow Master ready to ship, and I've got 7 more that the surface mount is done. They were over on the other machine because I needed to add bootloaders to them, but I only did it on 1 so far, so I could check that machine. Give or take, Julian says yes. Close enough. So that will be 8 Reflow Masters in stock. As I mentioned, I've only got 7 screens, so I can only... Once I finish these off, I can only list 7 of them for now until I get my extra screens. Okay. Good luck with hitting the goal. Hope we can help increasing it by a bit. If that was to me, thank you, Hex. Wow, that's noisy. Right, part of that noise is outside. Anyway, cool. Okay, I think that is the end of the stream today. We're going to call it there. Thank you for joining. I'm glad I managed to get that done. That's something it's been hanging around. It's something I needed to get done. So that's super cool. Assume they work. I need to obviously check them. I don't know when I'll do that. Probably not today. I've got a lot of hand soldering to do still. Anyway, thank you. Thank you all for joining me today. I'm sorry there was a lot of quiet time when I was focusing on the boards and don't work too hard. Yeah. I have no choice, Julian, but that's okay. The end is in sight. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying before. I've set myself a goal for when I want to ship the first batch of stuff to Crowd Supply, and if I hit that goal, then yes, the first, I don't know how many backers, but the first X chunk of backers will be getting their boards super early, which will be very exciting. The earlier I ship everything, the earlier I can move on to what's next, right? Or the earlier I can start listing them on Tindy and get all that stuff together. And the sooner people have them in their hands, the better. Although I've still got stacks of software stuff I have to do, but yeah, whatever. We'll get there eventually, at least the first 2 backers. Probably at least the first 5. No, there'll be more than that. There'll be more than that. Depends on how many TinyPICOs I can build in the next 2 or 3 days. Yes. Okay. Thank you all. It's been great. I probably won't have any videos coming out to my next stream. Oh, make a cast, everyone. So we're trying again so it's Sunday for most people, my Monday morning, same time as last week on David Watt's channel. It's MakerCast. Join us for MakerCast, please. And otherwise, I will probably see you all next stream. There may be a video, there may not be a video. I don't know. I'm pretty slammed. But, yeah. Okay. Bye.